Okay, the name of this channel is Anti-DIY HVAC. Obviously that says a lot about my opinion of any of the do-it-yourself type things involving heating and air conditioning. I'm certainly against it. So, you know, no matter how much we tell you that, you know, you need to hire a professional, you shouldn't do these things. People are going to do some things on their own. And honestly, some people are more qualified than others. But I'm going to show a homeowner version of coil cleaning that I think a homeowner should do. First of all, wear gloves. Get some latex gloves. Second, this is what I suggest. Get online and order you a aerosol can of New Bright, New Calgon condenser coil cleaner. Okay, this is what I suggest. Now, as a professional, we would take this machine apart, unwire the fan, and take the lid off of it. I do not suggest that for a homeowner. I'm going to show you exactly what I think a homeowner should do. Number one, remove the disconnect. All I did was pull the plug. Okay? Obviously, that's number one. And now I'm going to show you how to apply this. I'm going to hook our hose up. I use these little things because they, you know, they're really handy. As you can see, that doesn't take up a lot of room. And I think this one is, let's see, 75 feet. And as soon as we cut the water on, it'll go out to 75 feet. As soon as we turn it off, it'll return to this configuration right here and go right back in the bucket on the shelf. So I'm going to show you this in a couple of steps. And if you insist on cleaning your own coil, this would be a good video as a guide for you. Okay, the first thing to do after removing the disconnect and killing the power to the unit and wearing gloves is to take your coil cleaner. Don't shake it, just flip it upside down and back and forth a couple of times. Remove the lid. I don't think shaking is a good idea. So always start at the top so that the product can fall down and not waste, and it'll kind of cover it. Now, this will actually start to foam pretty quick, but once it foams, you can see what you've missed and what you've gotten. So just be patient with it and apply it like that. And try not to go at much of an angle. If you have to do smaller sections, you can do smaller sections, but try to let it spray as straight at it as it can. Like these corners, you see, I'll do a little more straight. And then I'll go get the other side, just in order to keep it as straight as possible. Sometimes the bushes interfere. There's nothing wrong with angling down. It's just not too far side to side that you don't want to get, because you're hoping as you're spraying this that it goes inside between the fins a good bit. Now, the manufacturers recommend slightly wetting the coil with a hose, and I've found that effective for other products, but with this product it has worked very well the way I'm going to show you to do it, just by spraying it straight on the dry coil. And then we're going to hose it off a little different than a professional might do it. Okay, now that's about as big of a unit as you're going to get out of one of these cans. The first time you do it, I suggest that you order a couple of these just until you learn exactly what it takes. And this is something you can do every year if you want to, but you don't really have to. It's kind of subjective. So the other thing you want to do from this point, you can see the dirt coming out of some of it. So from this point, the other thing you want to do is you want to let this sit probably a good 5 minutes at least. It's not going to hurt to sit closer to 10, but you don't want it to completely go away and fall off and turn to liquid. Just let it foam up for a good 5 minutes. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, we let it sit and foam, and looking at the clock here, it looks like about 7 to 8 minutes. And so I'm going to show you how we hose it down now if we're doing it from the outside. Now, like I said, the professional will commonly take the lid off and unwire the fan and do what we call a back flush. And we will flush it backwards. I'm going to adjust this hose to where it is just barely off of stream. So you see that's starting to get to fan, and then that is a strong stream. So I'm just going to barely take it off the stream and just kind of have like a fan stream, so it's still pretty strong. You can see it inside. So what we're doing is effective. Now, I'm never going to tell you that a DIY situation is going to be 100% as efficient and effective as a professional doing the job, because I just don't believe that to be true. But I'm doing one section at a time here, just like this. Okay, I'm going to rinse this one section at a time, and I'm going to do in reverse what we did when we applied it. I'm going to rinse from the bottom first, and I'm going to do each section just like you're watching here. And there's nothing wrong with rinsing this to the inside. A professional wouldn't do it this way, not usually. But to the do-it-yourself guy, this is what I suggest. And there's nothing wrong with rinsing the water back into the unit. It is designed to be out in the rain, but this does put a different angle on it, so I would suggest leaving that power out for at least 1 hour after you're done. Some people want to do this twice. Let's see if you can see inside. So you can see that it's definitely taking dirt out. The reason I do the rinse from the bottom up is to not dilute the cleaner before the pressure pushes it through the fins. Now, obviously you can go from the top down doing your thorough rinse process, but I do suggest you rinse it thoroughly with water several times after you flushed all the cleaner through. And once again, keep in mind, I do not endorse do-it-yourself HVAC servicing at all. I'm completely against it. But if you're going to do this part of it, I just thought I would show you my opinion of how you should do it. And while A professional could probably do this a little more efficiently and have a little bit more effect. I think this is going to do a fair job of what we're after. Just keep in mind that if your unit is nicer and newer than this one, these cleaners do tend to oxidize the finish a bit. And I have seen people take car wax and rub that painted surface down to try to get the shine back and kind of protect the finish. I'm not sure that I would take it that far, but these are all variables that you have to be the judge of yourself in your own situation. Now, when you do this enough, and it's not done by a professional, eventually these drain holes in the bottom of this unit can get plugged up. And, you know, by no means am I telling you that this is ideal. I'm just saying, if this is what you're going to do, and you're determined to do it yourself instead of paying a professional, then watching this video may help you a little bit. And I'm just trying to rinse the bottom out there as much as I can. This is just not going to do this nearly as effective as a professional would with the lid off, going from the inside out. So if you do this to get by one time, you might want to consider having a professional do it the next time, or, you know, once every few years at least. The do-it-yourself concept is, you know, it can be fun and educational, but it's not always the best thing to do. A lot of times it's counterproductive. And I would certainly not suggest you do anything besides this as far as a do-it-yourself situation with your HVAC system goes. This is all I would suggest you do. I would certainly never suggest a homeowner cleaning his own evaporator coils or doing any type of testing and servicing of the electronics or the electrical systems at all. A lot of that is impossible to test without it being live and running, and it could be dangerous. And I know some of you can be brave, but in no way do I endorse doing any more than what you're watching here today. And let this thing sit for at least 1 hour, and then put the power back on it and start it back up. And hopefully that offers a little bit of insight to the homeowner that insists on doing it himself. Just remember to be careful, and anytime you're in any question at all, call a professional. We're trained for this and experienced at it, and it's likely going to be in your best interest to do so. But I hope it did you some good. Just thought I'd make the quick video. Thanks for watching.